Hi YouTube. Sorry I haven't done another video. I want to say the last video I did was right before we found out that I was pregnant. I did one talking a little bit about symptoms and the 2-week wait and what I thought about being on Femara for the first time for the month. We did find out that I am in fact pregnant. We found out at 8 DPO September 1st, which was a Saturday. I took a first response and it was a very faint, incredibly faint positive, almost thought I was seeing stuff. And, took another one, I think later on that evening, a little bit more faint, faint, but a little bit more visible. Waited till 9 DPO, took another one. And that one was positive the next day, took another one that night, and so forth. I think I ended up taking had to be 9 first response over the course of 3 days. I'm just trying to make sure that 1, the line was getting darker, and 2, that I was in fact pregnant. And I went and filled my prescription for the progesterone on 8 DPO. Advice to my doctor was to start it as soon as I got my BFP, which I did. I take 200 milligrams of that each evening, and so far so good on that. I've not had any problems, any side effects that I can tell. In fact, I have to say, I don't know if it's because I'm on the progesterone, it's made my body get used to the progesterone a little faster, because I noticed after I was on it a couple of days, my symptoms drastically cut down, and I actually, was a little worried and thought maybe I was having a miscarriage, but I just noticed, when we first found out that I did in fact ovulate, but I wasn't sure if I was pregnant yet, I was having really bad burping every day for a week. Non-stop burping, no matter what I ate, no matter what I drank. And then that burping kind of transposed over to a little bit of just regular gas, and it was a kind of back and forth. Sometimes I'd burp, maybe an hour later I'd pass a little gas and, burp again. So it was kind of cumbersome. So then of course we found out I was pregnant, started the progesterone, and I noticed that the burping started to cut back some, but it was still kind of there. Not too much regular gas, but just more burping, which is definitely totally different for me, because I've always just had regular gas. This burping thing, this is the first pregnancy I've ever had this. Doctor said it was probably just higher progesterone this time around that could have caused it. And I don't know what my progesterone levels were with the other pregnancies, and I really wish I could go back and figure that out. I probably could if I got my medical records from each of the other pregnancies. It's just, is it really worth that much to me to be bothered with that? So instead I just figured, we'll go with what he said. He thought it was a progesterone, and kind of move on from there. So definitely the burping has cut back. I've taken several, and I do mean several, pregnancy tests since then. I'm a little obsessive when it comes to that, just to see if the line gets darker. And some people would say, oh, how much HCG doesn't determine the line. I beg to differ. And I've read numerous folks say it doesn't matter. I don't believe that, because when you take them really, really early, they're really, really light. And when you take them later on, they get darker. So I find it hard to believe that the amount of HCG in your blood does not help determine how dark or light that line is. But, again, I'm not a doctor, so maybe I'm just wrong. But I know what I see for myself, and since this is my 5th pregnancy, I think I know what I'm talking about from personal experience. So anyhow, I've taken several. They are getting darker. I'm now 18 DPO, exactly 5 weeks, if you go by my last period. And so, feeling pretty good. No real morning sickness. Maybe 2 little mini episodes of nausea. One was about a week ago. One morning, me and my husband got up, felt a little sick to my stomach, ate, and I was fine. And then one evening I felt a little bit. Other than that, no problems. Not too much breast tenderness. Every now and then I'll feel a couple twinges here and there, or I feel like someone's sending a little electric shocks through my breast. But other than that, that's kind of tapered down. It was really bad during the 2-week wait. And then once I actually started the progesterone supplements, it drastically cut back on how much breast tenderness I was having. And that's what I was saying. I think it's just my body has gotten used to the progesterone now, so it's not nearly as bad. Please forgive the lighting. I'm in the car. I'm actually on my way to class. Those of you that don't know, I'm finishing my master's. This is my last semester. So, I am in the vehicle. So let's see. You had a little bit of burping, a little bit of breast tenderness, a couple of occasional cramps here and there. Not a lot of really bad, menstrual type cramps like I have had in the past with other pregnancies. This was more of like a pulling on the sides. Like it feels like every time I've been sitting down for a while and I stand up, or I get in and out of the car especially, it feels like it is pulling on the sides of where I could think my uterus is on the inside. You know, and I'm a plus size girl, so I don't know if it's maybe just the weight, and, you know, or pressure. I don't know if it has something to do with my weight or if that's just everyone. From what I gathered reading online discussion boards, that everyone kind of goes through that where they feel like they have that pulling where your uterus is. But I notice mine is worse when I've been sitting for a while and then I get up, especially getting out of the car. So I'm not sure how bad that is for other people, but for me, it's, you know, it's pretty bad. You know, not bad enough for me to go to the ER and think something's wrong. It's more of, okay, I've done this before, I know that's what it is, but it's kind of uncomfortable. Let's see, other symptoms. No real dizziness. Twice I have been dizzy, but that was definitely a side effect from the progesterone. I have to take mine at night because it makes you sleepy. So my doctor let me know up front, do not drive after you take it. Make sure you take it at night. Well, a couple of times I went out with my husband right after I took it. You know, we figured we'd just run to the store real quick. Bad idea. Once I've taken it, it's time to go lay down. There's not a whole lot of, well, let me go walk around, let me go do this, let me go do that. Yeah, not so much. But, you know, nothing too terribly bad. It doesn't make me sick. Like I said, I've not really had morning sickness. I've not really had any problems that I know of so far. You know, I'm assuming baby's okay. My doctor did have me go in to have my HCG levels checked at 11 DPO. My HCG level was 59, which if you look at like betabase.info or any of the other guidelines, 59 at 11 DPO is pretty high. Compared to what the average mean is, that on a lot of those, the average mean is about 24 from what I've seen. So I thought 59 was kind of high, but I was just thankful because, you know, the last pregnancy where I had a miscarriage at 13 DPO, it was only 57. So I was already 2 days earlier and ahead by 2 points. So I felt pretty good. Well, then he has me go in and do the 13-day DPO. Again, 6 o'clock at night. I made sure it was, you know, at least the 48 hours. And it was 176.